Everyone, welcome back to the Climate Transform Weekly Synopsis. I'm here with McKenna. We're here to sort of walk you through what we did last week and what we plan on doing next. McKenna, I personally, selfishly, had a great week, and had a great week because we had what was effectively the soft launch of our VCM series, which is going to be our 60 hours of content on voluntary carbon markets over the next 12 months, and that was launched with our partners at Fallow, who were launching a white paper on the ways or the issues with scalability over the VCM. So we had Haley Moller, who's one of the partners at Fallow, and Natalie Beacon, who is an analyst for Fallow, and talking about pre-financing primarily. So, we're talking about the funding gap in terms of how we get early stage nature-based solutions off the ground, which it's incredibly difficult to fund these very long, in many cases 6-year projects, to get them funded at very early stages. It's a broader conversation about sort of risk appetite for climate funding. But the white paper, which is up on climatetransform.com and at fallow.io, really worth a read. It's goes a lot into the need for the development of forward curves and futures contracts to be able to sell your carbon credits forward at the start of these processes. Who's going to buy into this sort of stuff? Really, really interesting. Look, McKenna, my skepticism about many of the blockchain companies that are out there. There's sort of a real bifurcation. I think the Fallows and the Flow Carbons and these sort of organisations which do really, really well. And Fallows a true thought leader in all of this. And I thought Haley and Natalie did a fabulous job with the preparation of the white paper and the like. So that's up on the site. I think that's up on the site now, if not now, later on today. And then, continuing our tradition of overachieving women from Finland, Henrietta Moon, who started a company called Carbo Culture, which is a biochar business, which effectively takes biomass, whether it's from food waste or from ethanol plants and all this sort of stuff, and puts it into effectively tiny little pellets, which can store carbon for up to 800 years. Blown away. She's a super impressive person. It was, you and I are very, very lucky that we see a lot of really smart folks here on Climate Transformed, and Henrietta just blew me away today. We were having a conversation. It was quite ironic. We were having a conversation prior to recording, and it was when Liz Truss was resigning as the Prime Minister of the UK, and we were making the decision that clearly, given the high quality of Finnish entrepreneurs out there, that Liz Truss is not from Finland. It was a really impressive conversation about the use of biochar as one of the many tools as part of the push towards carbon sequestration.
Yeah, and she's launching her Series A investment round too, so people can get involved in that, and it has massive potential. And it's funny you brought up in the Fallow about. For theirs, it's like about early stage financing, whatever. And you said there's so much like more complexity behind that. It was really awesome to hear that kind of come into your discussion with Henrietta, with the difference between the European and the US investment in that, where it's like higher risk, but like more pressure to perform for the whole portfolio and whatnot. It just is something I hadn't compared before with the different strategies.
Yeah, and it's a bigger conversation. And we've got our sustainable finance event that we're doing in January. Quick plug for everyone. And for me, one of the leading conversations is going to be about risk appetite, because we've had there's a void that exists between sort of doing a seed and Series A round for a company, and then providing them with the project finance in the case of Carbo Culture to build a 20 million euro a 20 million euro plant that allows them to extract, I think it was something like 180,000 tons of carbon, something around that level, which is obviously not a big facility by any stretch, but it's really difficult to get funding for that sort of thing. And I'm trying to work out exactly what how do we solve for this problem, because it's a true bottleneck to allowing companies like Carbo Culture to grow from one plant to 50 or 100 plants globally to take a company from a couple $100 million of speculative market cap to a legitimate, maybe a public company with to hit unicorn status. So no, it's incredibly interesting. And next week, I've got Adam Anders from Antera, and Adam and I sat next to each other at a dinner in London with a mutual friend about 6 weeks ago, something like that. He runs an Australian guy who lives in the Netherlands who runs an ag sciences venture fund. We're going to talk about everything from plant-based fish products to the use of DNA sequencing and the like. It's going to go completely over my head, because if there's one thing that's common in the ag sciences space, the level of complexity in the ag sciences space is remarkable, and the breadth of the topic is amazing. So Adam's going to come in to talk about sort of the state of play in venture around ag sciences, and look, as I said, we're going to look at everything from plant-based salmon products all the way through to indoor farming. It's an area we need to do more and more of. I think this will be the first of what we'll do many events going forward on ag sciences.
Absolutely. And then after that, Carolyn is going to be interviewing Tom McCalmont, the CEO and co-founder of Paired Power. And then they built the world's first pop-up solar canopy for EV charging. And what's really cool is that it can be built in just one day. So it takes 4 hours and it works completely off grid. So it's really pop-up convenient. They can put these anywhere, and they have a little video on their site it's really interesting how they do it. But and then she's also going to be interviewing Michael Meyer, who's the chairman and director of Sunshine Hydro. They're an Australian company that has an AI-based tech that optimizes the efficiency of renewable power plants. So, and they actually
software company.
Yeah, using AI, and they actually just came out with their tech called Flavian Super Hybrid, which will combine pumped hydroelectric power with nearby wind and solar that then produces green hydrogen. So it's this whole chain of events, and it's really cool to see all these different technologies coming together.
No, it's very cool. We've got a lot coming up in the next couple of weeks, guys. In particular, Carbon 2023 is December 6th, 7th, and probably 8th. We've got more content that we know what to do with, so we probably will go in for a third day as well. McKenna, what else do we have on? I think that's it for next week. But everyone, climatetransform.com. Please check out both the Fallow white paper and Henrietta Moon from Carboculture. But they both should be up by tomorrow. They're two of the most high quality interviews that we've done so far, and it's definitely worth the time.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, McKenna. Bye, everyone.